Good evening, everyone. We're going to get caught up with Lydia here because she is working on preparing a heifer for a couple different events coming up in the next few weeks. And I'd like her to give you a little information. Hello, Lydia.
Where are you?
Over here. Just wondering if you could tell us about your heifer and what you are prepping her for.
This is Lazy Daisy May. She is my air shirt winter calf that was given to me by a very nice man who was my boss up until I started working at NASCO. I milked cows for him a couple nights a week, and he knew I wanted an Ayrshire heifer calf, so when a registered Ayrshire cow that he had a heifer calf, he let me have her, bring her home. So she's got a couple different things coming up for the next month. So I think yesterday was the 30-day countdown to the Jefferson County Fair, where I will be showing her. But even sooner than that, this Saturday, here in Fort Atkinson at the Hoard's Museum, we have Dairy Day at the MOOseum, where we, for a couple different farms in the area, bring one or two of the 7 main dairy breeds, and we have them available for the public to come learn about, pet, and cuddle. And we do a little walk around up and down the road for a little parade, and they get to learn some facts. And I think there's some balloons and little cheese making, well, not cheese, butter making, and different stuff like that. So if you're local, come on out and see us. I'm gonna have Daisy May there, and my cow Pickles, and possibly a calf as well.
The hours
are
Day?
11 o'clock to 2 p.m. This Saturday, the 15th.
11 o'clock a.m.
to 2 p.m.
There you go.
There we
Hey
go.
Lydia,
Yes.
is there any significance to the Hoard name at the Hoard Museum in beautiful downtown Fort Atkinson?
Well, the Hoard Dairyman farm right outside Fort Atkinson.
But where does the name?
W.D. Hoard.
There you go. Who was?
Who was he?
That would be a question for you. You're older than I am.
Well, you probably ought to know, Lydia,
double-
just in case you
Well,
get
I
asked
mean-
on Saturday.
That can be the museum director's questions. I can answer questions about the cow.
W.D. Hoard, one of the early settlers of Fort Atkinson. I mean, he didn't come along with the Indians, but moved to Fort Atkinson from New York, started farming because prior to that, Wisconsin was a wheat producing state. And year after year after year of wheat crops had greatly depleted our soil. So W.D. Hoard, and I'm sure others, had the idea of changing things up and actually bringing animals onto farms to produce milk. But the beautiful byproduct of animals and milk is manure, which greatly renewed our soils. Brought dairy farming to Wisconsin, which made Wisconsin America's dairy land. And I'm sure if you have anything to do, past or present, with dairy farming, you've heard of the Hoard's Dairyman magazine. W.D. Hoard started that. It's still published in Fort Atkinson. He was also a governor of their state back at the turn of the last century. So that's the significance of the Hoard Museum.
Hoard Dairyman
Another
farm.
interesting fact, there was a Hoard's Creamery also in Fort Atkinson at least at the turn of the last century. I'm not sure how long it actually lasted. But I have a box full of receipts that would be from my great-grandfather and the milk sales that he made to the Hoard's Creamery back in the late 1800s. And several months ago, it was kind of funny. We were looking at the amount of money he got for his milk back then and trying to run it through an inflation calculator to compare it to what we're getting today. We couldn't be real specific because most inflation calculators do not go past earlier than the year 1913, when I believe we went off the gold standard. I'm not sure about that, but plugging in a 1913 number for what my great-grandfather got, the obvious answer is he made more for his milk then than we do now, but we still enjoy making it for you.
Yeah, such is life. Yep. Thanks, Dad, for the history lesson. Yes, so please come out Saturday if you're local or would have the time to drive into Fort Atkinson to the Hoard Museum for Dairy Day at the MOOseum.
And make sure to check out the museum while you're there. They've got a really cool dairy shrine, and down in the basement, some history and some trophies and
They have
old
the-
milk buckets and different cool stuff like that.
And the Abraham Lincoln Room.
The dairy part's the most interesting,
Well, it depends
in
on
my
what you're...
opinion. I like the showroom down below. That's my favorite part.
Yep. All right, so we hope to see some of you there. Have a good evening.
How's it going, Daisy May? How's it going?